Check, 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 checky, check it, check it, check it, check it. All right. It looks good. So today I watched some of the hearing, and I was just, ugh, I was offended. I was offended at the idea of of some of these men who claim to be, they are right politicians. Hearing was ridiculous. I mean, yeah, I don't even know what to tell you. Yep, I could absolutely weep about it. Oh, excuse me. So let's get into some of this. All right. My eyes are a little watery. Sorry. Ugh. Ugh. All right. I mean, they talked a lot about child pornography today. I was like, what is the issue with these guys? Right? Just wild speculation about it, it seemed to me. Um, Lindsey Graham storming out. I mean, here's the thing again. She is she is a pick they're picking. I mean, the people are not picking this lady, right? She's exactly what they want her to be. Um, so how can you be against her? Right? I mean, in her for a million years on the bench, she hasn't done anything that politicians would be unproud of. Because once they get that job, they're all looking to this seat. Excuse me, right? So they're all looking to this seat. She has no agenda. They all have agendas. Hey, the Hunting Biden laptop was confirmed. Huh? I mean, they're just not honest. Mm, ugh. A comprehensive report about the ongoing federal probe into Hunter Biden's tax filing, published in the New York Times on Wednesday night, confirmed the existence of the son's infamous laptop. In October 2020, all right. The Post exclusively reported on the contents of Hunter Biden's laptop that he dished at a Delaware repair shop in April 2019. The laptop hard drive contained a trove of email, text messages, photos, and financial documents between Hunter Biden, his family, and business associates, detailing how the president's son used his political leverage in his overseas business dealing. The repair shop owner reported the laptop to the FBI, which seized the device and its hard drive. As part of the investigation of Hunter Biden, the Times reported federal prosecutor had looked into the emails between the first son and the former business associates that were recovered from the laptop. Yeah, he's just so dirty. And the reason he's not in jail is because his father's president. Here's the thing. You're going to need a pardon because as soon as your father is done being president, they're coming for you. They're coming for you. Some of the scrutinized correspondence was between Hunter Biden and Devon Archer, who had served with the first son on board the Ukrainian Energy Commission, Burisma, the report said. Archer was sentenced last month in an unrelated fraud case and has cooperated completely with the feds in their probe into Hunter Biden, the police said. He was sentenced last month. What was he sentenced to? What was he sentenced to? They say he was sentenced, and it implies guilt. What was he sentenced to? Doesn't say. That's weird. Archer was sentenced last month in an unrelated fraud case. Okay. According to Times, the emails between Hunter Biden, Archer, and others regarding their international business activity came from filings the publication obtained that appeared to have come from a laptop abandoned by Mr. Biden in a Delaware repair shop. People familiar with the emails and investigation confirmed their authenticity in the New York Times. Wow, dude is just a freaking mess. The laptop confirmation was included in the Times Square report that also revealed how Hunter Biden paid off a tax liability of $1 million a year after he announced he was under investigation for defrauding the IRS. Oh, defrauding the IRS. Hunter Biden has been under investigation for failing to pay taxes since his father was vice president. But the inquiry brought in 2018 to look into how his international business doing. Oh man, this dude is so dirty. Yeah. What you need to do before your father dies, you need to have him write you a blanket immunity statement. I give sit for all financial weirdnesses going back to 2000 period when you were in high school. That covers you. That covers your ass. But what's going to happen is they're going to keep the investigations going and look into other aspects of what they're looking at. I think Hunter Biden is done. Just a mess. That dude is a mess. All these people said the laptop was fake, though. What about that? Hunter Biden's laptop. Actually, you know what? Let's keep this. Let's open a new one. Keep track of what we're talking about. Laptop from hell. Hunter Biden, big tech, and the dirty secrets the president tried to hide. 2 days ago, White House ignored this Hunter Biden problem. Yeah, Hunter Biden laptop in America's crisis of accountability. No one, he should be in jail. But then again, this is why he is what he is. His father protected him his whole life, and now he's a fucking criminal. Excuse me, in my opinion, he's a criminal, right? But if you would have said when he was 17 and he first did the thing, nah, catch the weight, son. He'd be a better dude today. I mean, he a long weird relationship with your dead brother's wife. It's that family got problems. Now it looks like the wife is running the country, which is bullshit. Yeah, I'm not for this guy and his family. I think they're more game players. Oh, for goodness sake. Are we even gonna picture with a crack pipe in his mouth? Look at this. This guy's a mess. Who do, who takes your picture when you're in a position like this, when a state like this? These people are the worst. Um, but you know what? Look at all the liars. So let's throw this up. These are all the people during the election who just out and outright lied about and tell you it was the Russians and all this other, all Democrat, all wanting to be somebody, right? Some people are made people, some people are trying to be made people, like this Nada Bokus, right? All these people. I mean, who are, they wanted to be in this Glenn. Who are these people? Lou Panetta, right? A Clintonite. John Brennan, John Clapper, James Clapper. Just spies who lied. The intelligence experts who falsely discredited Hunter Biden's laptop. Yeah, you lied. You got called up to talk to the people. They stuck a camera in your face. The first thing you did is lie. Why is anybody going to listen to any of these people? The fucking idea. Jim Psaki, although she's not in the intelligence division, she was one of these people lying for Hunter Biden. Now all of a sudden, Psaki's shifting narrative on Hunter Biden's laptop. What? Look at this. You got this woman pulling her hair. What is going on with this guy? I can't even. Look at this. I can't even. I can't even. He's so disgusting. Um, he's a drug addict. I mean, it's sad, but he's a drug addict. And he took advantage of that. He made money off of it, it looks like. Uh, in New York Times verifies Hunter Biden laptop. Hunter Biden, the protective third rail of journalism. The protective third. They're not even looking into his kid opinion. It's never a good time for the Hunter Biden story. Fuck you. This is why no one trusts the New York Times. The New York Times was saying it wasn't a thing. Now all of a sudden people have to talk about it without. This is why people are fleeing the mainstream media because they do shit like this. Um, Republicans slam big tech censors of authentic. Yeah, this was during an election. You lied during an election, which is fine, but you got caught doing it. And now the person who you lied for still isn't facing any charges. His father should have to answer for it. His father, come on, man, fake news, Russian propaganda. Yeah, Hunter Biden is a mess. Hunter Biden, look, the criminal justice system is a shit show. So he should be in jail and he ain't going, right? All because connections. You got connections? I don't got connections. It's our butt if it's you and me, right? I'm a little chilly. So yeah, I don't know. All right, we've been streaming for 15 minutes. Uh Hunter Biden's wife. Oh my god. And FBI is going to slow roll this investigation. And as soon as his father's out of office, 8 months after that, they're going to indict him. And he's going to be looking at 1,000,000,000,000 years in jail. But nothing will happen to him because son of a president. They will work some shit out. But he's such a fucking liability. Oh, this is I gotta read this. All right. Senator Johnson blasts New York Times for confirming the authenticity of Hunter Biden's laptop. All right, I'm having an issue or two. Let's give me a second. All right, everything seems to be working, so we'll try it again. Uh Snow geese migration is a beautiful blizzard. All right, Let's close this. We're not really looking at video. People should be outraged at the New York Times for just confirming the authenticity of Hunter Biden's laptop. Senator Ron Johnson said Sunday as he demanded apologies from 51 former U.S. intelligence experts who cast doubt on the Post reporting on the device. I'm just amazed that the New York Times just now came to the conclusion that the Hunter Biden laptop was genuine, Johnson of Wisconsin told. How's it not genuine? It's got his picture on it. It has his nudes and him smoking crack on it. It's got sex tape shit with him and these random high class, I would say they're prostitutes, but maybe they're not prostitutes. Maybe they're just high class fun girls. How's it not his? It's not like they said that could be anybody and there were no images on it. I was just amazed that the New York Times just came to the conclusion that the Hunter Biden laptop was genuine. Where have they been? That was pretty obvious within a week or two of the New York Post's story. The senator was referring to the Post exclusive in October 2020 on the first son's foreign business dealings and his connection to the Ukraine energy firm Burisma, while his father, Joe Biden, was vice president. I would like to remind you they're bombing the fuck out of the Ukraine right now. So whatever evidence that is there, they're just going to say was destroyed. The FBI had to know that. They wouldn't tell us when we were offered the laptop. I couldn't take it because I had to do my due diligence. The FBI knew Johnson sent an interview that aired on Sunday. We reached out to the FBI. They wouldn't tell us because it's an ongoing probe, right? They wouldn't tell us if it was genuine. They should have, but they did. But they didn't. People should have been outraged. He ain't wrong. I mean, he is full of shit, but he's not wrong on this topic. The laptop left at a Delaware computer repair shop by Hunter Biden contained a trove of emails detailing his business relationship in Ukraine and China, which implicated his father. It implies his father was a dirty dealer. This is why the Chinese were so comfortable, because the president of the United States is flush with Chinese cash, apparently. I mean, that that makes you an operative of foreign government. You're not supposed to do that. And he's at the top of the chain. He's at the top of the government. I'm just so over. I'm over. I mean, what's the point of protesting? What's the point of marching? This is how high the right runs, right? So, yeah, I think I'm right on track to say that I think that there's going to be, you know, because people are not wrong to have a problem with this. Then they covered it up. All the elite people and their friends in the media, they covered it up, right? All right. Hunter Biden is facing a sprawling federal probe in his tax filing and business dealing, the New York Times reported last week. Sprawling means it's everywhere. Johnson called Gary on Gray Lady to apologize. The Gray Lady, which is a nickname for the Gray Lady, is a nickname for the New York Times since it's so old. Gray Lady, it's an old newspaper. As well as 51 intelligence experts who cast doubt on the laptop as Russian disinformation in a letter released just days earlier, the Post bombshell exclusive. New York Times is finally quietly covering its track. Where are all the other apologies? Where is the apology for the 51 intelligence operative Johnson said on Kat Samanda's show? He's not wrong. He's a scuzzy individual. Johnson also accused Google of manipulating search engines. Yeah, I mean, this is stuff you can't fix. AOC is not serious. Putin is not. Oh, look, Harvey Weinstein was just caught red-handed in jail doing what? No, I'm not going to click on TMZ because they're a shit show, and they're against everything I stand for. All right, this might be it, guys. Um, yeah, I wonder what they're what is their rationale for not saying anything? I mean, we know it's politics as usual, right? But now you're caught dirty, not doing your gig as a reporter. Why should I trust you? Oh, good lord! All right, so Hunter Biden and the confirmation hearing were the two things that were just crazy today to me. Um, I'm sure there's other stuff, but and we're still talking about COVID because there's a new variant, even as everybody doesn't have to wear masks anymore. So okay, let's do this thing. Biden administration formally accuses Russia of war crimes as humanitarian crisis in the Ukraine deepens. It looks like Biden is sort of making this thing worse to grandstand for election purposes. Look at me, I'm tough on Russia. Who doesn't like, who doesn't hate Russia in America? He grew up on hating on Russia. So why is all this Russian shit our business, first of all? I understand that this thing isn't going to take like a week. It's going to take like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe, right? And then they're going to vote Friday. Madeleine Albright also died, right? Born in, I want to say, Yugoslavia, right? New York City socialite accused an elderly shove death bullied classmates in school. Did we look up some guy who pushed his landlord and his landlord died? He got 2 years for it because, the pandemic and people were like, he went over there to get the rent. You got to go to pick up the rent. Go with the cops, man. Some of these people, and you're throwing them out on the street with their wives and kids. They're not going to be happy about it. They're going to be aggressive, even as they're wrong. They're going to be aggressive, and you need to defend yourself. A classmate of New York City socialite and manslaughter suspect Laura Pazianza says she bullied him in school. Oh my God. Pazianza, 26, is facing first-degree manslaughter and second-degree assault charges after allegedly shoving an 87-year-old Broadway vocal coach to her death in an unprovoked attack. A former classmate who spoke for Fox News Digital on the condition of anonymity claimed that when he moved a few doors down from Pazianza in the second grade, she began bullying. In the second grade, why all these Karens, man, they're running around, they're hitting people when the cops show up. He hit me, I'm the victim. There's a lot of that. They know that this system does not for some people and they can take advantage of it. And a lot of people are doing it. Cheap. A Manhattan judge set Piazza's bail at 500,000 or $1 million bond during Tuesday afternoon court appearance, despite prosecutors' request that the 26-year-old be remanded. Piazza is accused of pushing Barbara Gustern, the elderly victim whom she did not know, violently to the ground in the area of West 28th Street and 8th Avenue on March 10th, just before 8:30 p.m. She then fled the scene. Piazza also allegedly called Gustum a bitch before the attack, according to a criminal complaint. Gustum's head was bleeding after the fall, and eyewitness rushed to help her after the alleged assault. Before losing consciousness, the victim allegedly told a friend that Pazianza hit her as hard as she had ever been hit in her life. Her last word was, "Ooh, that woman hit me as hard as anybody has ever hit me in my life." And then she lost consciousness and died. I say it all the time when I see black people doing dumb shit. Raise your fucking kids, right? What is wrong with this woman? She's 26, pushing old ladies down. I mean, I just don't even know what to tell you, man. Oh, let's put this up. Let's turn this down. Can you see this image of this elderly lady? Look at her. Why? And here you are, 26-year old, about to do on a. Here's the thing about these laws: you can get just as much time for manslaughter as murder. They play the same fuckery word games with it, right? So the cops will get manslaughter and get 2 years for killing a person with no gun, but you commit manslaughter and you'll do 25 years. This is what she's got in store for her. Here's your perp walk. Right? I mean, I don't even know what to tell you. I don't even know what to tell you. Somebody's some elderly lady. This is a long article on this too, Fox News, of course. Police looked for surveillance video and found that she had stayed in the area for more than 20 minutes after the attack. She was spotted having a physical altercation with a man believed to be her fiance, roughly 7 minutes after the victim was shoved. So she was just fuming. She was ready to fight. So she was all pissy and she was rude to some old lady who she ran over and killed. And she ran up to her boyfriend like nothing happened, argued with him. Now you look to go to jail. What you gonna blame it on? Hormones? Bad day? I'm a good girl, but this is. Remember that girl in Central Park who called the cops on that guy, the bird watcher? The same thing. It's just the worst. I mean, normally I'm a good person. This one day, I just need a do over for this one day. You killed an 87-year-old lady. 13 minutes after the attack, Payanta was allegedly seen watching the ambulance as it arrived in the area to help the victim and take her away. She and her fiance allegedly left the area soon after and were seen entering a New York City Penn Station 30 minutes later. Footage also captures her arriving at her Astoria home around 9:50 p.m. in the same clothes that she wore at the scene. So they got. I mean, I tell people this all the time. Cameras every place. So they tracked you from this location to that location to this location to that location, and picked you up because once they get a rough idea of she went here, she went here, she walked past this place. Here's a good picture of her. Run that picture. Everybody's driver license is in a database. Don't have a driver license, have an ID card. It's in a database, right? How many people look like this, long red hair, in this area at this time? Most people are in the area they're in regularly. They either work there, they have a girlfriend there, a boyfriend there, they like to hang out there. Somebody knows them. If I do something in that place and I'm gonna hang out there, I'm not gonna hang out there anymore. And then people begin to go, "What happened to True? Didn't he used to hang out?" Oh man, they may not know why I hung out, but you're missed because you used to be there. And do a little enough footwork. It's like you know this picture that used to look like so and so. He used to hang out. He does hang out, and people go, doesn't hang out anymore, right? You undid your normal routine. So it sounded like she was raging. She was pissed off. She pushed this old does it. In the old days, it used to tell you how much time she was looking at. Was a longtime singing coach. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg office said Tuesday that Pianta represents a serious flight risk after allegedly evading law enforcement for nearly 2 weeks prior to her capture. She was on the street for 2 weeks. She faces up to 25 years in prison. Told you can get the same amount of time for it. 25 years. She'll probably do 10, 15. They'll probably come and cop to her, go, you know what? You're not beating this case. She's a beloved little old lady. Cop to 5 years and then go on with your life. You beat it, we're gonna give you 25. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. People are just mean and hateful for no reason other than arrogant bullshittery, right? And I'm always for people undoing you for that because this is the person we know she fucked with that day. How many people was she making miserable, you know, for the year leading up to this point that she was raging? Video shows Mike Tyson keeping his cool after a man who challenged him to a fight pulls out a gun at a comedy show. So you challenge a famous boxer, former heavyweight champion, to a fight, and then you pull out a gun. Everything about this says bitch. Everything about this says bitch. You challenge a boxer to a fight, that says something about you. He boxes for a living. Do you box for a living? Is it professional? No. You're just a drunk in a bar. Yeah, you sound like a loser. Then you pull out a gun in a crowded place, which it can be considered well, it's definitely brandishing. It could be considered menacing, and it might be considered a threat, all to show up Mike Tyson. So look, menacing and brandishing should likely get you 5 years, a year and a half, 2 years apiece, right? So let's go 3 to 5 years on arrogant bullshittery in a land where everybody takes a picture. And I bet you money he was black. Cause fucking, what is wrong with these people? There's a video of it. Yeah, okay. Let's pull up the video. I mean, people don't make any sense. I mean, this is why I don't march and protest anymore. I'm just kind of like, why am I out here? You know, it's like calling for freedom or gay rights in Russia. You just stand out and you will be destroyed, right? You can't be the only one doing the thing. You need allies. So why am I marching or protesting unity? Because what? So that guy's not marching. Here, I'm marching and protesting for your kid. That'd be the guy to ice me out, and maybe I could have made a difference, as well as ice the kid I'm trying to save out. Because fuck that nigger, quote unquote, fuck that nigger, which seems to be the default bullshit line of all these cats. All these cats. So calling people cats like it's the '60s. So yeah, we'll see what happens. All right, Mike Tyson. Is he trending? He should be trending. He's not trending. When did this happen? And here it is. My guy pulls gun after trying to fight at comedy show. If you thought Mike Tyson was bad at before, wait until you see how he handles himself when a guy pulls a gun within 15 feet of him. Let's just say you can call him Cool Hand Luke. TMZ obtained this insane video of what we were told was a small comedy show Tuesday night on a rooftop bar in Hollywood at MT in attendance. Had and MT, I guess MT stands for Mike Tyson, was in attendance with a few friends. You fucking run out and pull a gun out on all these people, and your man's got to deal with you. This is the way this works. I see you pull a gun out threatening somebody, I can blow your brain clean out your head. It's happened tons of times. It happened to uh, Eminem's friend who was a rapper with him, right? Didn't he get into a fight with a guy at a bar, shoot like shoot the guy and then the bartender shot him. He shot the guy and he killed the guy he shot, and the bartender shot him and killed him. Done. Closed case, you idiot. There's always someone behind you. It's a coin flip if they have a gun or not, but there's always someone behind you. Uh if you at first you see Mike seated calmly at his front row table talking, taking in the show, but then the whole thing was entered by a random guy who approached Mike and company, attempted to shut him up, disrupting a comedian set and everyone's good time. When you can't hear exactly what's being said in the footage, eyewitness tell us that the man actually challenged Mike to a fight, suggesting he wanted to elevate his status. Mike, of course, kept it chill and didn't engage with the man, mostly just letting him talk. Eventually, though, another man intervened and told the dude to scram. We're told this was actually the host of the MC comedy night. So the host was like, "Come on, man, people trying to have a good time. What are you doing?" And then all of a sudden, here you are. I'm important. Fuck you. I'm the man. I have a gun. Look at how, and then bam. There's a ton of these broken toys running around. Every time you read the newspaper and you hear someone getting shot, especially famous people, it's bitches like this. You think you somebody because yeah, they are somebody. They sold millions of albums. People like, I mean, there's rappers I fucking hate, but they have a fan base. They're more important than me. Who's this guy? I bet you looked at his jacket, his life's worth. And I'm talking about money. The people who affected him the most. All the people who should be in his life aren't. And now your homies got to raise you. See, this is why I watch who I hang out with. Because this guy gets you killed at the far end of it. And he will get you sent to jail at the very loose end of it. Why have those options in your friendships? Um, that that pissed off the guy challenging Mike, who threatened to shoot the host, then pulled out a gun from his waistband and cocked it in front of everyone. Naturally, everyone gasped and started ducking under tables. Lucky he never fired, put the gun away, and was almost immediately regretted it. Told you, almost immediately regretted it. Yeah, you wanted all that attention, bam, you get all the attention. Now the attention you got, it's look, listen, you know what it is? It's lotion, right? So you put lotion on your face because you right. What up, Dr. G? But you know, I mean, getting hit in the face with a pie. So you're asking for attention, right? You're asking for a spotlight. Instead, you got exactly that, but no accolade. Like, oh, he pulled out a gun. That dude is. This is not the movies. I said this on this pod before. All these people are running around existing like TV raised them. So of course he pulls out a fucking gun at a comedy club because 1,000 videos did it. He saw it in 1,000 movies. And now everybody's screaming. And now you're back in the real world where you're just a random fucking nut job with a gun. You might be an active shooter. Now all of a sudden you're like, oh, in a land, like I just said, of cameras. So let's see how he instantly regretted it, right? And even if you ran out and got away with it, not first of all, you're talking to people now, trying to calm the situation down. While you're talking, you're standing there long, and people getting a better and better look at you with their phones, right? Better. Oh wow, this is a guy on. This is TMZ, mind you. What's the Eminem line? The whole neighborhood knows you, and they'll expose you. It's one of the most truest things I've ever heard uttered in a rap line. The neighborhood is not going to look out for you. You run around here robbing and raping and being a drug dealer and a jackass and an all-around piece of shit in the community, right? This is the whole you can take the boy out of X, but you can't take the X out of the boy or the girl, right? There's a lot of shit I left in my old life. I still know them, but I'm the boy you can take out of Brooklyn and take to the opera, take to the country club, the yachting event, and then slip right back into the projects and nobody knows, right? I've been in those environments. You can't come from the golf course and the country club and hang out with me in these projects. It's unlikely that you can, right? This is the thing. The people who have less are used to getting by on less and can if they've got an eye about them, can venture into other zones, right? maybe stay for a little bit, come back, maybe immigrate to that other zone, right? But this, I'm just gonna carry. I'm a wander into these zones, comedy club, you know, country club, with my gun, tell the shut up, motherfucker, give me ba 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 ba. Cause I'm straight street and I'm real, and this is they're gonna be like, this is a fucking country club. You can still have your gun on you. You can still tell them, yo, what are you doing? But you got to do it completely differently. And then when you leave the country club and go back to X, you can flip back into that mode, right? Everything isn't. I had this conversation about religion on this show. One thing that pisses me off, I'm fairly spiritual. I'm not super religious. I used to be, but now I'm fairly spiritual, right? One thing that pisses me off is if I'm out here talking about politics or the club or action movies, don't come in here with religion. It throws it off, right? And you just upset it. If I'm here talking religion with you, and I've done that before, don't come in here talking about the club, talking about bitches, talking about the ball game, because that's not what we're talking about now. And this is all you get. How dare you trying to tell I'm spiritual and you just trying to you just trying what is it? You trying to take me from my faith? No, I'm not. You just being arrogant up in here, right? Or vice versa. Don't try and save my soul. I'm talking about bitches in here. Excuse my language, ladies. You know what I mean? And that is that there's a time and a place for shit, and there's a time that you give up things, right? So if you're gonna lean in at his age to being a giant piece of crap, okay, but don't expect people to honor it. You're the giant piece of crap. I'm out here trying to see a comedy show. So let's see what happens. The piss off guy challenging Mike, uh who threatened to shoot the host and then pulled out a gun from his waistband, cocked it, click. It must have been a revolver because those are the only thing, those guns you can clock, right? Cock are revolvers, guns with cylindrical chambers, versus automatics, which are magazine loaded, bottom fed, slack driven, not slack, uh, slide driven racks, right? Um, this pissed off the guy challenging Mike, who threatened to shoot the host and then pulled out a gun from his waistband and cocked it in front of everyone. Naturally, everyone gasped and started ducking on the tables. This is where it's going to get interesting. Luckily, he never fired, put the gun away, and almost immediately regretted it. He once again approached Mike and asked him not to call the cops. Once again, why don't you just leave? Once again, Mike just sat there in relative silence, heard the guy out, and in the end, embraced him. Mike, look, listen. Mike Tyson is a beloved motherfucker. I think 30 years of that will make you sort of zen whether you want it or not. Because I think you meet, maybe not like this guy, but you meet a lot of over exuberant dudes. And then in the first years when he was getting arrested and doing all this, he let stuff go. And I think he saw enough of that to be like, that guy's pointless, right? Or maybe he saw enough dudes with guns. And he is from Brooklyn. But mind you, Mike Tyson stopped being Brooklyn when he was about 14, when Customato picked him up and made him essentially world famous, right? Um, People love to claim Brooklyn like they go back there all the time, and they don't. Just like Jay Z. Jay Z left Brooklyn when he was 16, and he's still singing about it 30 years later, right? How much of a drug operator could you have been? He's just a propaganda against us, and I just hate that. Um, and Mike embraced him. Mike actually hugged the man. Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't have, but I'm nobody. But Mike could have. All these other famous dudes I mentioned, Jay Z could have, right? All these famous dudes could have. He's not really there for you so much as he's grandstanding. Versus him being there for you. You cheated on me. You took my girlfriend. You robbed me of my album, and he's got a gun. That's different. You're not hugging that guy, right? But the guy grandstanding, all of a sudden he realized, oh, I really fucked up. You can let that go. Plus, the cops are going to be looking for that dude anyway, right? I mean, it's not. So let's see what happened. Mike actually hugged the man at the point he finally left without incident. Where we're told people started to trickle out after that with some trepidation. Yeah, they wanted to make sure he was gone. They wanted to make sure it was over. You just took people who were at a comedy club, who were having drinks, talking smoke, maybe trying to meet this girl, get her number, maybe trying to meet that guy, get his number. Just the whole simple, just trying to get their day done, get their tips, and get their work day over with. And you come in with this nonsense. So now everybody's got to get their. Is it good to breathe? You know what it's like? It's like we're all cavemen. We're sitting around the fire. All of a sudden, it's at night when nobody's supposed to be hunting, and we're talking shit, and we're sitting around the fire, and we can't do anything because we're cavemen, right? We're right outside the cave, and then all of a sudden, you hear "Rah!" And you know that there's a lot, and you grab your spear. You're very scared. You run to the mouth of the cave. You leave the fire burning. The food's there. You grab up the babies and the women. You're right, and you're oh my, everybody's scared. And then after a few minutes, you know, you venture back out. You realize oh, that wasn't a lion or a tiger or a bear or whatever. It was something else. And then you all laugh, ha 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 ha. And then, whew, and then you go back to what you're doing. This is the same thing. Go up to busting drinks, clearing tables, getting people their receipts and their shit. Some dude's trying to get their coat. Everybody's laughing, wondering what's going on over here. All of a sudden, some random dude pulls out a fucking gun. You may not even know that Mike Tyson's in the front row. Oh, what the fuck is this? For the last 15, 20 years, all I watch on TV, well, not all I watch on TV, news is public shootings, schools, work, clubs, the Post nightclub, right? Nightclub shooting, right? I think he pulled it up, people like, oh, people like, they were like, oh, my bad, yo, oh, yo, no, my bad, don't call it, yo, let me just slide about here, my bad, my bad, right? Cut a brother a slack. I fucking fucked that. I totally misjudged the room. You know, and Mike Tyson was good enough to be like, yeah, man, yo, whatever, man. Peace out, man. Just fix. Not don't get. I would have gave him a lecture. Would have got me shot. Yo, just fix your life, homie. What the fuck you talking about? Fix my life, blam, right? I would have been this close that I would have got shot. But maybe Mike Tyson was like, yeah, man, whatever. It's all good. And then the guy took his gun and got the fuck out of there before the cops showed up. And a million people called the cops on him. That's a count for everybody in the fucking place. Not how many bullets you got in the gun. That's a count for everybody in the place. If I fired one round in the ceiling, it's a charge for everyone in the place. And then they go upstairs to see if anybody lived upstairs. Oh, you could have killed the 5 people living up here. That's 5 counts of attempted murder. Unless you're a cop on the Breonna Taylor shoot squad, then you can fucking blaze the place and no one fucking and kill people and no one gives a fuck. But that's another story. Ooh-wee. All right, we close. I should cut that. That's why I'm hot, because the fucking heat is on. Excuse my language. Let's cut the heat off. Oh my god. All right. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. So I'm assuming Mike embraced the guy. That's very black culture, quite frankly. I gotta tell you, because nobody wants to call the cops, and people will grandstand and be ridiculous and make it worse. But other people will be like, "Man, it's all good. Just let that shit go." Right? Drop it here, and let's keep moving. This feels like one of those moments. But if you know, people in situations, this just makes Mike Tyson look great. And maybe he knew that, well, like, oh man, I'm going to end up on the paper tomorrow. And people are going to have a little love for Mike Tyson. Not only did I not get shot, but I diffused the shit. And then I was magnanimous and I hugged the motherfucker. Win, 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 win. Right? Mike, I can hug the man, at which point he finally left without further incident. We're being told people started to trickle out after with some trepidation, not knowing if the dude was lurking somewhere down below. Down below in the streets. Down below in the streets. Below is all right, fine. After a bit of time, Mike departed too. Yeah, you ruined my night. I'm not gonna hang out here. It's also good after someone pulls a gun in the spot to vacate that spot. If it was for you, don't stay there. If the guy leaves, get the fuck up because he might come back with a different attitude, right? Or you don't want to be there. Or if it's not you and you see that shit, you should leave too because again, the guy might come back and blaze the place. So yeah, you see a gun in the zone and it's not a cop, get out of there. That's just common sense. Turn the music back on and party like nothing happened. But mind you, this is a nightclub, so you can't do that at a nightclub. But you, as the person, can go to a different nightclub where there wasn't a gun. Is all I'm saying. We checked in with the authorities. LAPD say they were never called. Told you, black people handling shit. As for Tyson, yeah, he did his best Paul Newman impression. Ice cold, Iron Mike. Yeah. Ugh, I was getting sick of these people donating money. Colin Kaepernick. Look, listen, Colin Kaepernick needs to stop playing this football shtick. He really needs to stop. They're not gonna, and he needs to do something else. And at this point, he's been gone too long. If you send him back now, he can only fail. And then they'll be like, see, we told you so. Right? I'm your husband, and we're supposed to have an heir for our kingdom. And you're like, come on, get some of this. And I'm like, nah. Then all of a sudden, 30 years later, I'm like, oh man, I need an heir. And you and my wife are like, where the fuck were you 30 years ago, motherfucker? Right? Whose fault is that? So yeah, people are fucking ridiculous. I heard that the US government just saw Brittany Griner today. And she's been held for like a month. Right? She was she was held, I want to say the second week of February. Tyreek Hill got traded. 5 draft pick. Wow. All right. And here's another thing about this guy. Uh clear pictures, clear images of the dude. Super clear images. TMZ. Good lord. I don't want to play the video. I just want to super clear video. Who is this? This is different. NFL's Mark Walton insane Pizza Hut arrest caught on video. So this is a rich player being arrested for at a pizza shop. Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do, guys? That whole Mike Tyson thing. But that video is so clear of that dude. They could pick him up if they want to, because the way the law works is, I don't need a complainant. I just need evidence. In the old days, the evidence came with my complainant. What happened? That guy came in and he stole my guitar. It looked like this, had an orange strap on it. Okay, knock knock, police, open the door. You need a warrant, right? All right. Well, we'll come back tomorrow with a warrant for your guitar. No one's getting a warrant for guitar. Let's say he punched me in my nose, broke my nose, pushed me down the stairs, and took my guitar. Now they've got a little more reason. Oh, he's a violent man. He did this damage and he stole. We're gonna kick your door in because we know you're in there. Open the door. All right. So I open the door. Ooh, wow. I open the door. You catch me with my guitar. I keep. Anyway, you catch me with my. Forget the narrative. Anyway, the Hunter Biden laptop shit. So yeah. Anyway, that's the obvious grab. You catch me with my guitar, you can arrest me. But the idea now in the modern era is you don't need me to complain that someone. I can be afraid of that guy and go, I don't want anything, but it's on tape and everybody's got a video of it and they put it online. that evidence of me beating somebody up and taking their guitar, or me just snatching their guitar and pushing them down and walking away is evidence enough. So the person that it happened to doesn't need to say they did it and I want my stuff back. They can go, I don't want to press charges. I just want to go away. The state can go, we're pressing charges on behalf of the people because this kind of BS is bullshit. Right? It's how you get uh to send people who don't have a complainant when it's a violent thing, like maybe a beating or rape, right? I don't want to talk against. I don't want to say anything. I don't want anybody to know. I just want to go away. Blah blah blah. They go, don't worry about it. We won't even call you as a witness in this thing. We're just gonna have you're gonna be Jane Doe, and he's gonna be the suspect, and that is it. Because we say this guy cannot be out. He's a moron and you won't help us put him in jail, fine. We won't put that burden on you. Because not okay, sometimes they can be like, we're going to charge you, right, if you don't testify, which they do sometimes. They can even, and I don't know how they, I think this is bullshit, but you have, as an American, you have an inalienable right not to incriminate yourself. And they wrote a law saying, we can give you full immunity and you have to talk. Yeah, fuck you. You can give me full immunity. Thank you. But I still don't have to talk. And they put people in jail for that. This country circumvents the Constitution regularly. How the fuck are you going to say I have a right to not incriminate myself and then write an in law around it? Oh, no, we're not sending you to jail. You're not No, it doesn't say I have a right not to incriminate myself and be sent to jail. I have a right not to say shit. That's what that means. Not that we're going to give you a pass so you can talk and not send you. No. I'm not saying anything. Hey, you're straight? Yeah, I'm straight. Were you at the gay party? I don't want to say anything. All right, we're gonna write this pass for you, True, and you can tell us all that happened there. And it's no, I'm super embarrassed by it. And my homie's gonna know about it. I don't know. I'm not even. I'm not even talking about. No, I don't know what you talk about. No. We have a pretty good idea that you were there. Don't worry about it. You're not gonna be indicted for. What you indict people for? You know what I'm saying? I choose gay because nobody wants to be known as if they're not. Vice versa. But that's the kind of thing, or whatever crime there is. I don't want to be a part of it. Oh, don't worry about that. Just we won't indict you for you robbed the bank with all these people. I don't want to talk about how good I am at breaking safes. Oh, don't worry about that. Um, we know you did it now. You can talk about breaking safes. You're not going to go to jail because that's why people don't. That's not the only reason why. Some people don't want to be embarrassed. Yeah, I went to the gay party and I had everybody cover me in poo and beat me with spaghetti. That's not against the law, but I'm still embarrassed by it. I don't want anybody to know it. So I don't care about your immunity. I don't want anybody to know it. And people went to jail for shit like this. I mean, I don't think I'm wrong here. There's a lot of this country says there's only ever one reason for anything, and we tell you what that one reason is. And I find that life is mirror, and there's you and I can look at the same exact thing and get a very different energy from it. Like my flag on the wall. Had a lot of people ask me, you black, why you got that fucking flag? What else flag am I gonna have? Right? Uh and at this point, we've been fighting this war forever. That's the flag I fight it with. It's also the flag I fight against. It's a very complicated dance here. Um, I don't even know what to tell you, man. Pulling a gun at a nightclub because somebody won't fight you. Here's the thing. Mike Tyson is a big dude. He's still strong, right? I'm pretty sure he could have grabbed that dude. One round would have got off, don't get me wrong. But if you would have grabbed your shooting hand and punched you with his hitting hand, and you seen the damage that dude can do, that fight's over. But who takes it, right? Who takes these chances? That's things they do in the movie where they turn around and get snatch the gun, right? That never happens in real life. For the half a second it takes for you to turn around, I can pull a trigger 10 times faster that half a second on you. And I don't have to maneuver my whole body. I just have to maneuver that much finger. And not a full pull either. These pull presses are light. So watch your ass, baby girl. Oh my goodness. We have been streaming for an hour. I actually was pulled a gun at a comedy show. Come on, man. What's wrong with you? Some of these look, I said before and I said again. And again, watching this Katani Brown thing earlier today, I got to tell you, man, I was so angry. Like I said at the beginning of the podcast, I was like, I'm not going to watch it. I was like at the week, I was like, it's more the saying. I don't really support it, but I know the type. Whatever. You didn't fix any of the problems on the ground that you say you fixed. You keep doing this window dressing. I'm not for it. Go kick rocks. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Having said that, I tune in today and I'm instantly mad because the question is about pedophilia. Like she's secretly on the bench, letting the pedophiles go, but sending everyone else to jail. Why pedophiles? Are you implying that she's got some relationship with? Right? What was your angle on this argument? She's not. It's we found one thing that we think she should, and all all she can do as a judge is what the judges above her tell her to do in this corrupt ass society, right? And if she was doing her own thing, she wouldn't be nominated to be a Supreme Court justice. Her being nominated there says that she did exactly what you wanted her to do. So she didn't let the black radicals out, right? She didn't sign off on all the whatever socialist agenda, right? That you think, man, every day it's like, man, these people, they're just the worst and they stay in power. One guy was talking about, I don't like the way she was treated. This is the worst in there. And I had been here for, what do you say? I had been here for 48 years. I was like, that's the problem. You ever hear somebody talk and then they mention the fucking quiet part out loud? Yeah, nothing works around here. And you've been there for 48 years. President's been here for 50. Oh, boy, ugh. It's just, I can't even. So, man, I got it before, but at the same time, I don't see any difference coming down the pike between her and the rest of these idiots who always get it wrong. They're talking about a constitutional crisis, like no one trusts the Supreme Court. Yeah, the Supreme Court gets it wrong a lot, but they're just as the I'm sorry, the legitimacy. But then, like I said a couple of days ago, they're just as legitimate as the government is legitimate. You can't say the government's legitimate, the IRS is legitimate, the FBI is legitimate, but the Supreme Court is not legitimate. The presidency is legitimate, but the congressman and the senator and that whole unit isn't. You don't make any fucking sense. They suck because they're 12 guys that you put there to do what you want them to do. Right? So yeah, they're kind of all illegitimate, but so is the government of America. If you want to wide swath this bitch, we're still dealing with racist bullshit. We're still a lot of people in office get money from foreign governments. You just had a bunch of people try to run up in there on the say so of elected officials to wipe out elected officials January ago. So yeah, the place is a shit show. Nothing works for the people, and there's a steady fight amongst themselves of the rich. Right? What did I say a couple of days ago? At the elite are living in an oligarchy. There's socialism for the military and corporations. To I think the middle class, I would call it a vague democracy. But the people on the bottom, you might as well be living in fucking Stalinist Russia, selling peanuts. And then when you ask what's wrong, America deals with you in one or two ways. They buy you off, like the Black Lives Matter chicks who are now living millionaires, right? Completely bought off, like Jesse Jackson, right? My opinion, completely bought off versus being dedicated to it and catching a bullet, right? Like Dr. King, who was wrong, by the way, and uh, Malcolm X. What happened with Malcolm X and the Nation of Islam? What happened to Farrakhan? Farrakhan give less of a fuck about you. At least Malcolm X gave a fuck about me, even though he wasn't a black Christian talking the right. He was just a black guy, a spiritual guy, telling everybody what the drama was. Versus now, I'm only this, and I only talk to these people. Right? It's death by uh not distraction, subtraction. You deal less and less numbers, and yeah, you get to be a fief of your 1,500 people in the Nation of Islam or whatever it is, and you get to be. The problem is the black Christians because there's 60 million of us. How many black Islamists were there? Maybe 5,000, 7,000, right? So they can easily be ignored. They don't have a power base. And the power base in the black community is run by white ladies, right? So people I don't trust who are always talking politics and always getting it wrong, Clyburn, Sharpton, um, anybody who's ever said anything pro Hillary Clinton, right? Especially in the last 5 years. I've been anti what is going on here for like 15 years. And in my opinion, in the last 8, I think it's the Clintons. And so many Clintonites are scattered all over the place, all over the place. It's just you you can't criticize what the problems are because there are people in place left to spackle the problem and tell you that the problem is fixed, or turn the energy fully on you as if you are in charge of the problem, right? So I mean, our problems are our problems, right? They're endemic to us and our community, and we're solely reliant on Democratic lawyers, usually poor ones who go to law school and make their bank essentially trading in black pain, right? And here we are. And like I said, when I didn't vote in the last election, you're getting to a point now where the people who voted for you 90% of the time are fast not voting for you. So now what? You got to do something. So you give them a holiday that nobody asked for, Juneteenth, and you promise a black woman on the Supreme Court. Like that's all that. I mean, what happened to ideology? Look, Clarence Thomas is a black guy on the Supreme Court, and fuck that guy. Excuse my language. Why is she different? Black girl magic. Yeah, that magic doesn't seem to be for the guys, though, does it? Just seems to be for the women that you want to put up on a pedestal. As you talk about momdom and momdom and momdom, like no one has a father or has sons. So all these things is why I'm like, whatever. And then I look at this hearing today and I'm like, you backed me into a corner to support this woman. And I think that's a tactic too. I think she's bad for me, but I have to support her because you're worse for me. What? What? No, fix my problem. So I almost fell into this Katanji Jones Brown trap thing. Um, but I want the problem fixed. And I don't care for the spackling, the window, the wallpapering of it. And I don't like people taking shots, especially black women taking shots like this. But I'm getting used to it because I've seen black women give shots uh, uh, in regard to the end where I'm sitting at and take it from this guy. Like they were disrespecting. She was like, "Thank you for your question. Oh, thank you for your question. Oh, thank you." I'm like, "What? You can first of all you can stop thanking them. That guy's a racist asshat. Anything to get the chair." Amy Comey Bryan got it right, and she was completely useless. And she answered no questions. And here's my other thing: if everybody agrees, Democrats and Republicans agree that fucking Donald Trump is the worst piece of shit ever, why we listen to Amy Coney Barrett or anybody else you put on the court? He's a shitty pick, so his picks are shitty, right? See what I'm saying? Their logic doesn't make any sense. They countermand themselves constantly. So yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. So I mean, maybe she'll get there and she'll be like, ah, fine, I did what they said for 30 years. Now I'm a. Yeah, but watch why I believe that. Like I said, once you get there, you can't be fired. Clarence Thomas has said asked 4 questions in his 30-year career. That place is supposed to be. Look, this whole country is supposed to be people coming up from all corners of it. The best of us to run it, and it isn't. It isn't. It isn't. They keep people out of school to make sure you work in Walmart. They drive people into prison to make sure that they can fucking be tough on crime. And there's all this sinister shit going on in America that is not a secret. And I think when you rip the band-aid off, you're going to find out that there's a lot of people who want to take shots at you. I said on this podcast before that I don't think the age of assassinations is far off. I think we're due for it. I think the arrogant, and then once the shooting started, the first thing they both say, "We're all Americans," and no, fuck the no, because the violence is aimed at you is why you're all now anti-violence, anti-this, anti-that. What you are is pro-you and fuck everybody else. And eventually, in a land of guns, in a land of military service, in a land of pie in the sky bullshit with that flag, I think it's inevitable. I really do think it's inevitable. And look, I think it's inevitable because look at the January 6th thing. There weren't just toothless hillbillies out there, right? There's a bunch of cops and firemen and lawyers and actors and business people, a lot of black people, not as many as you think, but there was still a bunch of them, a bunch of Indians and Spanish people. And by Spanish, I mean Mexicans as well as Puerto Ricans, right? As well, from all swaths of the Spanish diaspora. It wasn't just white guys from the southern states. It wasn't just southern people who were descendants of the Civil War. You've been cultivating aggression and disloyalty amongst the citizenry so you can run for president. And you've been doing it or Congress or Senate, and you've been doing it, quite frankly, all of American history, but really since Reagan, like ridiculously since Reagan. So don't expect the places to stay. I told somebody before I left Brooklyn like 10 years ago, all this protesting, and they were like, we need to put America back the way it was. And I'm like, who the fuck wants America back the way it was? She did. Her kid goes to a Montessori school, right? She's got a house and a way house, right? And all this kind of cool shit. Of course you want it back the way it was. There are people who are living paycheck to paycheck. What about them? They don't want it back the way it was. Like I always say, your utopia has someone cleaning the toilets. And this is what you want. You want this utopia where you can have it be fair, but only in your mind. This place is this way because people engineered it to be this way. And it's not working for everybody. And now the people at the top are like, hey, we'll fix it. And I think you fixed enough. So we're gonna see what happens. Oh wow, look, we've got a minute on the clock. Woo! Hour and 15-minute daily shows. All right, so I took Monday and Tuesday off, and I'm here Wednesday. I'll be back tomorrow and Friday. I took Sunday off. It's the first Sunday off I took off in a while. My shoulder was murdering me. I took Sunday off. I did a show Monday, I think. I took Tuesday off. Today is Wednesday. So yeah, I think I took two. I wanted to take a day off, but that would have been 2 in a row. I took yesterday off. And hyper medicated myself, and now my shoulder is good. I mean, I can look again, but that right there is a sign that I need to freaking work my carcass out. Yeah, that plus a Hunter Biden laptop. Today was a day. And here's the thing: Jim Psaki was like the Russians and fake news, and this is what they wanted to win on. They wanted to accuse Donald Trump and anybody who liked Donald Trump of being a Russian agent to get around all this shit, Turns out that they lied, and now they're like, oh, bygone. That's the way politics work. We just lie if we get caught. We don't. People need to pay a price. They keep lying and not look. If you lied to get there and you were excellent at the gig, I get it. But everyone just lies to get there, and then they stay there by demonizing other Americans. And this is where you're at. This is where you're at. Um, Hunter Biden should be in prison. Yeah, it takes money from foreigners to live, and then they're talking about there's information about his dad on that laptop too. So should Joe Biden be looked into because of this Burisma? Mind you, Ukraine, nothing's going to get looked into. Like I said at the beginning of this pod, they are bombing the fuck out of Ukraine. So only thing that they would just say is, "Oh yeah, the place that held this information has been bombed." Sorry, it's gone forever. Not like we might be able to recover it. We want it to be gone forever, so it's gone forever. Yeah, but where this is in Kiev, the city center wasn't bombed. Yeah. No. We kept that server on a fucking farm in a you know in a tank driving around that was hit by the Russians. We kept the server in a hospital that the Russians bombed, that baby hospital. Remember when people asked for George, George W. Bush's military record? Oh, it burned up in the fire. Yeah, that's what his records were. Says his dad, who was the president as well as the head of the CIA. But none of his commanding officers or the people who served with him could remember him ever showing up for any detail. No one's got any pictures with him. You know how you have pictures with your coworkers? Know what they look like? ID tag. Comical. All right. If Hunter Biden is indicted, a lot of ifs. People keep talking about I should let that go. A lot of ifs. People keep talking about Trump going to jail, and I've been saying this forever on this podcast. Stop it. Just fucking stop it. Trump is not going to jail. And then I heard uh an editorial about stop waiting on Trump to be indicted. Was that the stop waiting for Trump to get convicted in the Atlantic? Stop waiting for Trump to get convicted. The chances of the criminal case against the former president will be the chances that a criminal case against the former president will be successful are slim to none, and that will only be embolden him and his fault. See, this is a shot at him, but this is the truth of it. That will only embolden, like they can't wait. They ran for president so they could commit crimes, right? If that's the case, why don't we have a stopgap for that? Thank you, Dr. G. I'm glad you showed up and came through. Yeah, we're gonna end the stream, but this I just want you guys, if you get a chance, read this. Right, the the Democrat are pushing this thing to keep the energy in the party, but it also pushes hatred. He's not going to jail. We don't send former presidents to jail. Stop being fucking ridiculous. Just like I said, that prince, who he is literally out of the uterus of the country. Well, you know what I mean? His mother is the country. That they're going to send him to jail. They're not going to put him in jail. He's not going to come here and be put in jail. He can still come here. He's not banned from the place. If he came here, he comes as a foreign dignitary. He's embarrassed his swanky friends, but he's not banned from America. Like the Saudi princess who killed Khashoggi. He's a foreign head to say who's banned from here. He wants to come here and buy giant houses in the California hills for $300 million and high rises. Yeah, he can't come here. Prince of England can. All right, boys and girls, I will see you in the next one. The next one is tomorrow. Come get some. As we used to say in the old days, it's gonna be funky fresh. Funky fresh. I don't know why I thought of that. Um, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thanks for coming through, Dr. G. Uh, Super enjoyable having you in the chat. let's close this stream. And let's sort of get back to our evening. Thank you, Doc. I truly appreciate that. That is going to come in handy. It's going to go to my giant yacht that I'm trying to get out of. Where's Jeff Bezos trying to get his yacht out of? The Netherlands? I wonder if did they ever take that bridge down? Before we go, let's just see if they took the bridge down for Jeff Bezos so he could get his giant yacht. Jeff Bezos, Yaucht, right? Uh did they take the bridge down? 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Celebrities bringing yachts. Does Putin own Rotterdam dismantles? They did. Rotterdam dismantles historic bridge for Jeff Bezos' yacht. They did. They did it a month ago. Wow. All right. Well, that is it. Thank you guys. I will see you in the next one. The next one is tomorrow. 6:30. We'll be here. My shoulder's back in the swing of it. I can move around, touch my ear, which I could not do the other day. I know it's the little things, people. You're like, touch your ear. Give that man a standing ovation and a round of applause. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Sweet Jesus. Standing ovations. All right. That's it for me. I will see you in the next one. Take care of yourself. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Peace.